The highest ranked Janna OTP of Season 15 peaked 1693 LP on the Korean server, and she has a pretty unique Janna build. I thought these runes and items were very different from what most high ranked Jannas build, as most of them go Aery, but after looking I realized it's a region difference. Almost all EU West and NA Janna players go Aery, while all Korean players go Glacial. I am a challenger Janna player myself, and I've tested both builds so I can give a lot of insight for the pros and cons and how to play both playstyles. I think they're both equally strong, and the best keystone depends on the draft, but let's start with Janna Queen's Glacial build. Janna Queen runs this Glacial page with resolve for almost all of her games. She almost always starts QEW and always maxes E for her abilities. For her items, she goes Ardent into Redemption into Dawncore for most of her games and goes Dawncore Rush every now and then. I tried looking for a pattern in her match history when she does go Dawncore Rush, but I wasn't able to find one. For her boots, she always goes CDR shoes and loves upgrading to the tier 3 version after her first item. The strength of this build revolves around Glacial and how the slow scales off of increased heal and shield power. Ardent, Redemption, and Dawncore all have forbidden idols, which makes the power curve of this build very smooth, as you're only paying 600 gold for 8% heal and shield power, which converts to 7.2% slow to Glacial. If you are able to get your full build, your Glacial becomes a 70% slow, which is pretty insane. The reason why going CDR shoes and Jack of all trades for this build makes a lot of sense is because only Redemption has ability haste for the items. If you combine the ability haste from Ionian shoes and Jack of all trades, you'll have a nice amount to make up for it, especially if you get feats of strength where you'll get an extra 5 automatically and another 10 if you upgrade. It's important to note that for this build, you want to take advantage of hitting 5 stacks early so you can get your bonus adaptive force from Jack of all trades. Janna Queen builds a glowing moat, even though it's not part of Ardent to be able to get the 5 unique stacks early. You can hit it with just an amp tome and a glowing moat at 650 gold. The playstyle of Janna Queen is very passive compared to most Jannas. It makes sense that she's not actively looking to trade much because Janna has very limited mana and she's not running mana flow band. If you are playing the Glacial build, you need to be a lot more conservative with your abilities compared to the Aery build. While Glacial is a lot more passive in terms of trading, it has more gank or all-in potential because the slow can set up for your team more. Make sure to save Glacial if you know your jungler is pathing towards you. The Glacial build spikes the hardest when you get Ardent, as you'll most likely be one of the first players to finish your items because of magical footwear. You'll pretty much win any team fight in this window if you ult your team with Ardent because you can just stat check them. Another important difference in playstyle is to be aware of more opportunities for tapping Q. Glacial's power lies in its slow rather than the knockup, so you should be more okay with running up on people and double tapping Q. Moving on to Aery, this is the most classic Janna playstyle where most players go either Resolve secondary or Domination secondary with either 3 points W to Emax or Emax. Personally, I like going Wmax, but either is fine. For the items, most players go Moonstone into Redemption, and they will frequently go Boots of Swiftness with a darkseal. This is one of the most common Janna openers because it spikes her very hard early. Janna has a lot of dueling power because of her passive where her movement speed converts to damage on her autos and W. When you combine this with the stats you get from Aery, you do a lot. The Aery loadout should be played a lot more aggressively than Glacial. Janna can single-handedly win lanes by harassing the enemy with good trades. With mana flow band, you are not as locked with mana and can use more abilities. Aery is just such a great rune on Janna because it amplifies her autos, damage, and heal and shielding. Compared to Glacial, Aery spikes a lot faster and a lot harder on Boots of Swiftness and Darkseal to the point where you probably become the strongest champion in that window. Another nice aspect of Aery is that you have a lot more solo agency because you can do a lot of damage yourself. Glacial is a lot stronger in the 2v2 or teamfight aspect on the first item spike of Ardent compared to Moonstone, but Ardent Redemption is not as strong as Moonstone Redemption. I truly believe there is no stronger 2-item synergy than Moonstone Redemption in the game, as the amplified healing is just insane numbers. Aery and Glacial are both extremely strong and have different playstyles. Glacial is a lot less aggressive early, but has more opportunity to set up for kills, while Aery accentuates heavy trading. You can one-trick either Keystone and hit Challenger, but I think the most optimal playstyle just really depends on the draft. I think Glacial's best into lanes where Janna has a really bad matchup where you can't trade a lot. That's going to be into a lot of range matchups or into hook champs where Janna can't walk up. It makes a lot of sense to go Glacial in these situations because it's a lot easier to sit back and play passive. I feel like when I have Aery, I almost bait myself into taking bad trades in bad matchups when I just need to sit back and chill. Those are the key differences in Glacial and Aery. Regardless of builds, Janna is currently just very strong right now, so you should be able to climb with her. I think you should never follow a build exactly every time, and you should adapt it depending on what makes sense in each game. The more you experiment, the better of an understanding you'll have. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, good luck climbing, summoners.